and welcome to your program of choice, Health Affair on AIT. On the platform, we focus on public health challenges, issues about women and children with a view to providing lasting solutions. I am your regular anchor, Ushuomo Daniels. This week, we are focusing on the 2022 World Physiotherapy Day and the role that physiotherapists play in the treatment of arthritis and rheumatoid conditions. We'll begin the discussion after the news segment.
Some critical players in the nation's health sector have called for more involvement of everyone in disaster management to minimize the level of damage in the event of any accident. Speaking at the 43rd Annual Scientific Conference of the National Orthopedic Hospital Bovi with the theme Multidisciplinary Approach to Disaster Management, they noted that there exists a wrong notion of people thinking that disaster management is only the duty of medical workers.
When you see something, you say something. When there's a form of emergency or early warning in your area, you must communicate it to the expert. It's the expert that is going to help you to handle it. And when you are talking about disaster management, you must be able to prepare for it. You must be able to teach your subordinates and your children what they need to do. Emergency management commences from home. You have to teach your children. You have to teach yourself. You have to teach your wards and the people around you what they need to do. That look, be careful the way you handle electricity. Be careful the way you handle gas. Be careful the way you handle your environment.
He talked about the role of you and I as members of the community. He talked about the role of the police, the role of the traffic control, the role of the press, the role of communication. And we need to carry that information out to people, that disaster management is everybody's business.
They also called for the political will by the government at all levels to fund disaster management in Nigeria.
We must be able to work as a team. We must realize that we must plan for disaster, and we must ensure that we put resources in disaster management.
First of all, prepare better. Prepare better. Two, like he said, he kept on hammering on political will, which means that no matter how well prepared you are, if you don't get funding, if you don't have somebody who will stand to coordinate the several disciplines, somebody who has enough clout and power, who is in government, it will fail.
The incessant building collapse in Lagos State, pipeline explosion, fire outbreaks and flood, the topic for many participants at the conference, could not have come at a better time.
Some health experts have called for mechanisms to train more healthcare professionals and retain them in Nigeria through improved work climate. Speaking at the 40th convocation ceremony of the National Postgraduate College of Nigeria at Ijaniki, where 460 medical and dental specialists were turned out on the 15th of September 2022, the experts noted that brain drain was a serious problem that requires urgent attention to avoid paralyzing the health sector.
This is very important because a lot of our healthcare workers are leaving the country, and we necessarily have to replace these people. And that means occasions like this are very important because it provides us the opportunity of maintaining the pool of specialists that we have in the country. People generally have different reasons. Some live for better work environment and better pay, which we saw as perhaps the most important reason why people are leaving Nigeria now. And therefore, if living condition, work condition, remunerations are better, perhaps some people will not leave. We should, as a nation, encourage those people in that field by ensuring that they have better working conditions and better remuneration. This
is another phase in their life. They've completed one phase and they are starting on another leg of the journey. Life itself is a journey. I'm wishing them well, and as I reminded them during my address, their priority should be humanity. They should provide service for humanity, and then, of course, prioritize Nigerians.
President of the college, Professor Akin Oshibogun, spoke at length on plans to establish more simulation centers to bring healthcare training closer to resident doctors across the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria.
The Advanced Trauma Life Support Training and the Advanced Cardiac Life Support Training programs of the college have now commenced fully. We are using the Fellows facility in Abuja, where we have our licensing office, and the facilities here in Ijaniki. We've trained trainers, and our ultimate goal is to have a pool of certified fellows who will then mount the programs as college programs. For this purpose, the college is investing in the required equipment, and we already have some in reasonable numbers. The college has parcels of land in both Port Harcourt and the Federal Capital Territory, which will be developed as simulation centers. We are grateful to the Rivers State government and the Federal Capital Development Authority for providing us with those parcels of land. We are also pursuing offers of both the Borno and Kaduna state governments. We hope that the governors of those 2 states will fulfill the promises they've made to the college in providing us suitable facilities for our simulation training center.
Individuals who have contributed in no small measure to the growth of the health sector were honored. The National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria was established by law in 1997 as the apex body for postgraduate medical education in Nigeria. The college has trained more than 7,500 specialists in medicine and dentistry since inception.
I feel excited, I feel elated, and considering the number of years and hard work put into this, I want to appreciate God, my family, my wife, and my trainers for this wonderful opportunity.
I am so happy that finally, after so many years of study and hard work, after so many years of dedication and focus, that my dream has finally come true as a fellow of the Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria. I would be a very good mentor to upcoming doctors, and of course, if I take up any administrative position, I would ensure that healthcare moves forward to prevent the present brain drain and present decay in the health sector that we see today.
Dr. Marius Uchenna Ashibogu was passionate and committed to seeing a Nigeria where good and qualitative healthcare is accessible to all. Though the call of death at a young age during his housemanship did not allow him to live to realize this dream, the Marius Uchenna Ashibogu Foundation has carried on for 10 years, working to ensure its manifestation. The focus of the 10th year anniversary of the foundation centered on mental health awareness, which kick-started with a long work from number 3, Olayinde Street, Ikeja, Lagos, to Immaculate Heart Comprehensive College, Maryland, Lagos, where students were given lectures on the fundamentals of mental health.
Negative thoughts come naturally, but we have to be deliberate to put positive talk to ourselves, to our own face. We look into the mirror, we say nice things deliberately about ourselves. We have our gratitude journals. Look around for 5 things you are grateful to God for from time to time. Have a way of expressing when you are emotionally overwhelmed. You can draw, you can paint, you can write, and then you can go into physical exercises. Physical exercises have a way of producing good hormones in the body.
Every food item has gone up. Everybody's hungry. If you are hungry, you are angry. If you are hungry, you can't do anything. So people are not happy, and that is making people fall into depression. But if they are made to understand that, see, you can still walk around life. You can still achieve success in life. It's just to know how to go about it. It's not the end of the world. I'm sure with that, if they know what the mental health awareness is, they would take it up and go about it the way they have been advised. Education is key in everything we do. My son was a doctor, and he was well read, and I think giving that opportunity to a less privileged child to say, okay, you work hard, that will motivate the child to work harder. If I have a best student the foundation can even see them through scholarship into university.
This is not the only school in the whole of Lagos State, but somehow you chose our school to be a beneficiary of what you are celebrating today. We are not taking it for granted, and we are very appreciative because we know that when we build students today, it will give them a larger picture even in the future.
The work was later followed by the commissioning of 3 projects at Bariga and Makoko area of Lagos State.
For the glory of God, yes, ma'am. The Father, yes, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, yes, I commission this classroom in Jesus' name.
We renovated the school. This is a school that is more or less like a free school, according to the owner of the school. They are just managing. The place was, when we got there, we saw the place, they looked helpless, and we promised them that we were going to renovate the school for them. The section that we took up, we renovated it, and we're happy we did that. We're going to Asejere Market, where we donated 2 fish dryers for the market women. This is to empower the women because what they have presently is not enough for them to dry their fish. We also commissioned our school in Benue, September 6th. You know, this is a school for the IDP camps. They are there, they don't have any means of going to school, so we built that school for the children to have a place to study. Our foundation goes to far to rich places that people wouldn't even want to go to, because we want to touch lives. We just don't want to go anywhere. We want to be able to touch lives. We've done a lot of medical outreaches to different places. We've done to Benue, we've done in Oyo, we've even given to the physically challenged in Oyo. We gave them wheelchairs. You know, we built school in Benue. You know, the school is called Mwaf Nursery and Primary Academy. So anywhere we can touch lives, we are doing that.
High point of the event was the reception and presentation of awards to individuals who have been dedicated to the cause of the foundation from inception 10 years ago.
Big surprise to me. I never expected it. But thank God it came to pass. I want to be very grateful to Madam for honoring me, going to school for like 6 years, graduating, and then the person is no more. I know what it means, but I just thank God that she has been able to control herself, and God will continue to strengthen her.
Amazing person, someone who always thought of every other person before himself, literally throwing Christmas parties for people he didn't know. Like, he would cater for everything, food, drinks, music, the works. As a medical student, my cousin was paying for people's hospital bills as a medical student. As a house officer, he would walk into the ward, he would see people who didn't have anybody to pay for them, and he would pay their bills without even meeting the person and saying, "Oh, do you need any help?" That was just the kind of person he was. He just wanted everybody to be happy.
He was always living his life for people. Can you imagine at school, when he was in school, he would take his lunch box to school. He won't, when he get there, he would give it to his friends and don't eat. When they ask, why didn't you say, "Mommy, they need it more than me," because I know that they need it. So that guy was somebody that lived a selfless life. He lived the short time he spent on this earth. He was living his life for people. He organizes Christmas party for less privileged. He was a DJ, you know, a medical doctor and a DJ. He had passion for music. So the guy was always there for people. He was paying fees for his mates, even in university.
You are a mother, and by His grace, you will never win. When this thing happened, she thought it's the end of the world. Here we are today, we thank God. And we used to meet you. What you do for your mother, your children will be more than you. By the grace of God, you will live to see them being mothers. You are going to be grandmother.
After several years of studies to become a surgeon, Marius Uchenna Ashibogu, the Delta State-born philanthropist, died at the age of 28. The numerous projects executed by MOAF to impact humanity, according to many, is a confirmation that Dr. Marius Uchenna Ashibogu lives on even in death.
And becoming more, so much, that you hardly see a family that have not experienced one form of violence or the other. I remember some years ago, somebody told me that this noise of sexual gender-based violence has been happening before. How come we are talking about it? Of course, it's been happening before. That is why we are where we are today. Where we have so many of our children on the streets. They are either belonging to 1 million boys, or they are belonging to a year confraternity, or the other, because something went wrong within the family.
According to findings by a women's health rights advocate, Bose Ironsi, virtually every family in some rural communities in Nigeria have experienced one form of sexual violence case or the other. Khadijat Adekombi is one of such victims whose case fits perfectly into the narrative. At age 3, she was already being harassed by a close neighbor, though she was fortunate to escape from the inherent danger. However, not many have been that fortunate.
I remember being 3 years old. Okay, at this neighbor, they're like, they'll come in his wife and come into his room. Okay, and there used to be people around there. Okay, there was one day that people were not there. I was like, come inside, and I was on the bed, calling him. But I was looking his face that made me run. That left like that. Okay, the next one was like when a member of my family, not my immediate family, an extended family, showed me pornography.
These dehumanizing and rising cases of SGBV in communities necessitated the collaboration of the European Union with some civil society organizations a year ago through the Citizen-Driven Transformation Initiative to improve case management. Participants identified the cultural silence and family interference to cover up culprits as a major challenge, undermining all previous efforts.
The good thing is that before the grant program activity started running, the reportage or the number of cases that have been gender violence cases that are being reported are so low. But right now we have seen a spike in the numbers of cases of GBV that has been reported. And on daily basis, we are seeing that people are more sensitized and there is consciousness everywhere now.
It's just like a running off of the training of the power, of the capacity building of the COS in Lagos. The RAP have really did a lot of things. They have selected 20 NGO to support and to carry out the activity of sexual-based and gender violence in Lagos. So they trained us and we got to the field and we did a lot of things. We were able to discover a lot of things. We saw many things and we say many things and we are doing many things.
The community people are still in denial that they don't, it's not happening in our community. And even when it does happen, they want to make sure that it's a cover up. So, but now that made us to go to the balance, to go to the community people. We are working directly with the police. That there's no way they should cover up some of all these stories. You know? So, and we have also given them a strategy of when the case happens, tell us first. So when the information gets to us first, we go with the police to go and pick it up. So it's not about covering up the cases.
Ali Mosho, Oshodi, Solo, and Ojo local government areas in Lagos State, southwest Nigeria, have been the most affected area.
According to figures from the International Committee of the Red Cross ICRC, 64,000 persons have reportedly disappeared across Africa. In Nigeria, over 25,000 people have been reported missing, of which about 14,000 are children. Yan Bonzon, head of delegation for the ICRC in Nigeria, says the possibility that there are more children missing, aside the 14,000 reported, is high, as the ICRC has recorded more than 5,200 documented cases of unaccompanied children in Africa. Patrick Youssef, Regional Director for ICRC in Africa, says having the right policies in place can help save lives, protect migrants and families of missing persons. From January to June 2022, the ICRC, alongside the Nigerian Red Cross Society and RCS, assisted in the exchange of 1,250 Red Cross messages containing family news and reunited 31 separated children with their families. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has disclosed that vaccines produced in Nigeria, including those for COVID-19, will be of internationally acceptable standards. The Director General Mojisola Adeyeye, who made this known, added that if the regulatory agency is not strengthened, the industry will not be strengthened. She said the nation's pharmaceutical industry will take advantage of the African Free Trade Agreement to provide quality products. With NAFDAC now very strong with the World Health Organization Maturity Level 3 certification, Adeyeye said Nigeria can now produce her own vaccine, assuring the populace that quality materials will be used for manufacturing.
A healthy population, people often say, builds a prosperous nation. But many Nigerians are threatened on a daily basis and die needlessly due to diseases, poor health care, malnutrition, and lack of access to relevant health information. The sorry state of our health infrastructure is also a major challenge. On Health Affair, Oshomo Daniels brings these challenges to the attention of relevant authorities for a lasting solution. For sponsorship and advert placements, please call the numbers showing on your screen. Health Affair, your access to good health through relevant information.
Welcome back. 8th of September every year is World Physiotherapy Day, a branch of medical profession where experts manage patients with pain through physical therapies. Their focus this year was on osteoarthritis and rheumatoid conditions.
Basically, physiotherapy, or let's say physiotherapist, it's a medical profession that centers are treating injuries and conditions that impact movement. And in life, movement is key. Everything we do, there's a movement from the point you go to your bed to sleep, to the point you wake up, to the point you go walk to the toilet to brush. There's movement at all of those times, all of those phases in life. And then when movement is being impacted, it means that when movement is going for some one or two issues, maybe there's pain, or there's swelling, or there's redness, and then movement is being disturbed, then you need a physiotherapist to come in. So everyone is a physiotherapist. I mean, physiotherapy comes to cut across at every circle of life. I mean, I can tell you that a physiotherapist can come and be involved in rehabilitation. If a physiotherapist can come and you have pain, he can sort that out for you. If a therapist can come even for other health and general health awareness, as the case may be. So everybody is allowed to get a physiotherapist, or have a physiotherapist as a friend, or have a center that you go to go and get physiotherapy for. I think that is a wonderful team that we have this year. WCPT, World Physiotherapy Day, was celebrating arthritis and rheumatological conditions. Making people understand what is happening. I woke up this morning, I'm not able to fold my leg properly well, or I stood up and I could not bear so much weight because of the pain there. So that's where we are coming with this team for awareness purpose and education purpose, so people understand that what is happening to them is not spiritual. What is happening to them is actually an orthopedic condition that can actually find solution. It's a degenerative joint condition. It's something that happens what we call the wear and tear. Just like when you have your tires, I mean, if you get a new tire today, over time you use it on the road, it begins to lag out at a point in time. You can't use it again, or you change it. Exactly the same way it happens for the joint areas. And then the reason why there are some popular ones, that's the osteoarthritis, that's the one that happens in the knee. But not only the knee, we have in the knee, we also have in the hip. We just know that the lower side of the body bears more of the weight of the body. And in that situation, it means that some joint areas apparently receive more pressure or more functional ability than some other joints. And that is why when we talk about arthritis, when we're saying with the wearing and tearing, it also goes about the hip joint, also goes about the knee joint, and sometimes the ankle joint. The bigger one is sometimes put pressure on all of these joints, and that's why we're talking about the wear and tear. And then some school of thought also have it that at a particular age is when it starts. But I believe that once there's an overuse of a particular joint in the body, it is normal that that joint too begins to call for help. And in calling for help is where the arthritis comes to play.
Because there are different types of arthritis.
You have basically rheumatoid arthritis, you have osteoarthritis. A lot of times osteoarthritis is wear and tear on the joints. So some people ask, well, if I get it, will my kids get it? Sometimes it's genetic, sometimes it's not. But there is a huge factor that arthritis can run in families. Things that they can look out for when you start to have basically pain in the knee, pain, swelling, sometimes around the joint will get hot. You say, what can you avoid? There are, one of the elements, obviously I mentioned, it affects the joints that carry us. So the heavier you are, obviously that increases your symptoms. So one of the advices we try and give is weight loss helps if it's like osteoarthritis. Also exercise. The more you move, the more the joints are able to function correctly. And the more you move, you strengthen the muscles around the joint, and those act as your brace. I call that like your anatomical brace. So that's where physiotherapy comes in to work on strength building, pain relief. Kids can have juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, and it doesn't just affect the joints, but it affects sometimes their skin. They will have like really bad issues with their skin. It can affect other systems like their heart, their lungs. So it can affect different aspects of the body, not just the muscles and the bones. So that's why it's systemic, because it can affect other systems in the body. So in the osteoarthritis sense, with wear and tear, that's what I was saying, somebody who's heavier has more problems with weight on their knees than somebody who is not as heavy. So those are some of the things you can eliminate. Injury, if you've had injury at a younger age, injury too is another precursor that can lead to early arthritis if the injury is around the joint. So there are different aspects that can lead to that. Right now, I mean, there's a lot of research going on, but as far as I know, there's no cure that's on the market, let me put it that way. So rheumatoid arthritis, the goal is to manage the condition. You will obviously see a specialist, and like for rheumatoid arthritis, there's blood tests that you can do that will show whether you have the rheumatoid factor or not. So then that can be treated by a rheumatologist. There's a specialist in terms of, in medicine that deal with that. So in terms of once you are diagnosed, if it's osteoarthritis, it can be seen on x-ray. The changes in your joints can be seen on x-ray. And the goal then is to manage it. Pain control, either from medication, from your doctor, or from physiotherapy, because there are different things that we can do to help with pain management, and exercise. And that's where physiotherapy comes in. The more you move, the stronger your muscles are, the better your symptoms. And if you have an arthritic joint and you just sit still and don't move, it's going to get stiff and it's going to move less and then be more painful to move. So physiotherapy really is activity. We are the musculoskeletal. We are the specialists who work on the muscles and the bones, and that's our specialization as physiotherapists. I mean, there are different areas of physiotherapy, but like you said, our focus for this year's WCPT is arthritis and rheumatoid conditions. So basically, physiotherapy helps to strengthen and to keep that person moving. And arthritis doesn't just affect the knee. I'm talking about the knee because that's the one area most people can relate to. But people who have rheumatoid arthritis, it can affect the hands. Those are the people who then lose function in their hands. And so they need therapy also to help to regain and to keep moving. And it's very common. I think that's the important thing. And people need to realize that it's not just medication. I had somebody ask me that, oh, once I take the medication, will the arthritis go away? The answer to that is no. The medication helps to control your symptoms. It helps to minimize the discomfort and all the inflammation and pain that's going on. Likewise, therapy also helps to minimize all those symptoms and keep you functioning at your best. So it helps to maintain your regular activities of daily living.
And then one of the things I need to explain to Nigerians is there's a eustress and there's distress. You know, some people say that when they sit there in hours for traffic, that they're also exercising. I tell people that that is distress. That's the stress you are receiving for the long hour. Because, I mean, when you sit there in traffic for those long hours, the positioning of the body, most of the time, I mean, you want to readjust here, you want to adjust here. Sometimes you buy a lot of things in traffic that you consume inside again, which can also cause one or two other internal, mess up. But then again, I would just say that exercise is essential. I mean, it helps when you exercise a lot. It helps for the brain. It's like a food for the brain. When you exercise a lot, it helps your breathing pattern. You breathe in better, you sleep better, you think better, you function better. So exercises cut across all activities. And I tell people that whatever it is that you do that helps to increase your heart rate at a minimal level or at an increased level that is controlled, you can classify that as a form of exercise.
You're watching Hetafe on AIT. Next on the program is our nutrition segment.
It's a common saying that you are what you eat. This is why we make it a point of duty to give you information about food items, fruits, and their nutritional value to help you make healthy choices on our nutrition segment every week. Scent leaf, commonly known as clove basil in English and efirin in Yoruba, is a strong aromatic herb native to Nigeria, Ghana, and some parts of Africa and Asia. It is found in farms, gardens, and mainly used as a spice for cooking delicacies due to its aromatic taste. Scent leaf has antibacterial activities against Staphylococcus aureus, Salmonella, and Candida albicans. It is also a repellent against houseflies, mosquitoes, and other insects. As a vegetable seasoning, it gives every meal a delightful, unique, and sweet taste. From research findings, there are numerous health benefits from scent leaf. Scent leaf aids digestion. It helps bowel evacuation and weight management. It can be used to treat oral infections as it kills all bacteria in the mouth which cause tooth decay and bad breath. Scent leaf is used in the treatment of fever, cold, catarrh, as well as skin infections like ringworm. Scent leaf has antibacterial activities against Staphylococcus aureus, Salmonella enteritis. Extracts from scent leaf has also been reported to lower blood pressure, blood sugar, and potent for the treatment of gastroenteritis and lots more. Scent leaf can be taken as a tonic. It can be taken like salad or added to dishes during cooking.
On our clinical segment, we give you tips for healthy living.
You should know your numbers. If you know the numbers, you'll be able to know this my blood pressure is going high and all over, And when you see signs that feels quite abnormal, then such an individual should come to the hospital and then get checked, you understand? It's not until something really drastic happens that you have to report at the hospital.
Please be a part of our perception segment to provide solutions on how to improve human lives and critical sectors of the nation's economy by dialing the numbers shown on your screen.
The prevalence of mosquito is a reflection of our society. In a clean environment, we'll not be talking about mosquito. But I keep on telling people that Nigeria is a city of waste. At every nook and cranny is a dump waste. There's poor drainage system. And when the water is not flowing, those things form more like breeding sites for the mosquitoes. We dump everything at every nook and cranny, and they keep on revolving. So if you want to be serious with mosquito eradication, or maybe to eliminate it at a very appreciable state, we have to be very health conscious. It's public health issue. To eradicate mosquito, we have different measures you can use. You can use insecticide. You can use mosquito-treated nets. So many things.
This is where we wrap up the program today. Please join us same time next week for another interesting edition of the show. Health Affair is a veritable platform to advertise your health products and services. My name is Ushuo Mowa Danis. Please keep staying safe.